Welcome to Mind Awakened, where we explore the depths of human emotion and the wisdom that can transform it. Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed with anger only to feel drained and regretful afterward? Why does anger hold such sway over us, even when we know it brings no real benefit? Imagine breaking free from this cycle, living with tranquility and peace of mind. Wouldn't it be amazing not to let anything disturb your inner calm? In today's fast-paced world, anger often seems like a natural reaction to stress, frustration, and everyday irritations. But is it truly necessary? Is it worth the mental and emotional toll it takes on your life? Buddhism offers profound insights into the nature of anger and how to release it for good. Think back to a time when you were angry, perhaps over a minor misunderstanding or a significant life challenge. What if, instead of clinging to that anger, you could transform it into something empowering? Buddhist teachings show us not only how to let go of anger, but also how to find freedom in the process. It's not just about controlling your emotions, it's about understanding, accepting, and finally releasing them. Welcome to Mind Awakened, where we delve into the transformative power of Buddhist wisdom. If you're ready to change your relationship with anger, stay with us. This journey will guide you step by step toward peace and happiness. But before we delve deeper into this life-changing path, I have a request. Our channel receives many views, yet only a small percentage of viewers subscribe. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to support us in bringing you valuable content like this. Now, let's begin our journey by understanding anger. In Buddhism, anger is a universal experience, whether triggered by someone's words, an injustice, or unmet expectations. It feels like a powerful wave within us, but why does it arise? Is it something we can control, or does it control us? Buddhism teaches that anger is not random. It is deeply rooted in our attachments, desires, and fears. By examining these roots, we can begin to loosen anger's grip. A fundamental Buddhist teaching is that all suffering stems from craving or attachment, not just for material things, but also for our desires to be fulfilled our way. When reality doesn't meet our expectations, frustration turns into anger. Anger, then, is a natural response to the gap between what is and what we wish would be. Consider a time you felt angry. Was it because something or someone didn't meet your expectations? Perhaps a friend let you down, a work situation frustrated you, or a plan didn't unfold as hoped. In that moment, your mind was caught in the desire for things to align with your wishes, and when they didn't, anger arose. In Buddhism, this craving is linked to our sense of self, the ego. We seek validation, respect, and control. When something challenges this, we become defensive, and anger acts as protection. The deeper our attachment to ideas, beliefs, or self-image, the stronger the anger when these are threatened. Another aspect of anger is its connection to fear. Fear of losing control, the fear of losing something important, fear of being hurt or rejected. All these fears can ignite anger as a form of defense. Understanding that fear often fuels anger helps us see how intertwined they are. Another layer to understanding anger in Buddhism is the concept of ignorance. Anger arises not from a vacuum, but from ignorance, a misunderstanding of reality. We often believe we know best and have control over every situation, but the truth is, life is unpredictable. By clinging to limited views and trying to control everything, we create conditions for anger to flourish. The Buddha taught that true wisdom comes from understanding life's impermanence, that everything is constantly changing. When we grasp this, we realize nothing and no one can cause us lasting pain unless we allow it. Anger is like a storm, quickly rising to cloud our judgment, leaving us drained. But like any storm, it will pass. The key is not to fuel it further. This is where Buddhist practices come in. By cultivating mindfulness, we notice the first stirrings of anger before it takes hold. When we gain control over our anger, we recognize the thoughts and beliefs that trigger it. We see that anger is not our identity, but rather a fleeting emotion. Viewing anger as temporary, like a passing storm, helps us avoid being overwhelmed by it. The Buddha spoke of different types of anger, the explosive kind, where we shout or act out, and the quieter, more insidious kind, which is silent resentment. This quieter form can be more harmful as it lingers, poisoning our peace of mind. Understanding anger's roots is crucial. By identifying subtle signs early, we can prevent anger from escalating. Buddhism encourages awareness, helping us recognize anger without judgment and explore its deeper causes. Equanimity, or maintaining calmness, allows us to experience anger without being consumed by it. The practice of loving kindness and compassion helps us see that everyone has their struggles, fostering understanding over judgment. The Buddhist approach to anger involves recognizing its roots, attachment, desire, fear, and ignorance, and freeing ourselves from its grip. Through mindfulness, loving kindness, and wisdom, we can transform our experience of anger, moving towards peace and clarity. Anger affects both mind and body, clouding judgment and causing physical stress. By understanding its impact, we can choose not to let anger control us. Over time, unchecked anger can lead to chronic stress, headaches, muscle pain, and even more severe health issues. Buddhist teachings remind us of the deep connection between our physical health and mental state. When anger persists, it affects both, and its impact extends beyond ourselves, rippling into our relationships. Consider how you behave when angry. Do you snap, withdraw, or say things you don't mean? Anger creates distance, hindering communication and connection. Buddhism emphasizes right speech, speaking with kindness and understanding. Yet anger makes this challenging, often leading to harsh words and sharp tones, breaking connections rather than building them. Anger also often creates a cycle. Expressing it affects not only others but ourselves, leading to regret and further conflict. This cycle of harm, called samsara in Buddhist philosophy, traps us in suffering. Anger blinds us to the present, trapping our minds in past grievances or future revenge. Buddhism stresses mindfulness and being present, as anger prevents us from appreciating the moment's beauty. The Buddha compared holding on to anger to drinking poison and expecting another to suffer. This highlights the futility of anger. It harms us more than those we direct it towards. To break free, Buddhism offers a path of liberation. Recognizing anger's presence is the first step. Understanding we can let it go is the next. Anger is just an emotion that comes and goes. Letting go brings freedom from pain and suffering. Compassion is key for ourselves and others. By cultivating compassion, anger loses its power, allowing us to see others' struggles. The world is imperfect but filled with opportunities for love, connection, and peace. A Buddhist practice, loving kindness meditation, involves sending thoughts of love and goodwill to all, even those we feel anger towards. It softens the heart, replacing anger with understanding. Shifting our perspective from resentment to compassion helps break the cycle of anger and suffering. The consequences of anger are vast, yet we don't have to let it control us. Through mindfulness, understanding, and compassion, we can release anger's grip, acknowledge its presence, choose a path of peace, and experience the transformative power of letting go. Mindfulness and self-awareness are tools to recognize anger. Often, anger arises quickly, unnoticed until it overwhelms us. But anger doesn't appear out of nowhere. It begins as a small seed, triggered and growing without awareness. Preventing this requires mindfulness and self-awareness. Mindfulness, as taught in Buddhism, involves being fully present, observing thoughts, emotions, and sensations without immediate reaction. Imagine a loud noise makes you jump instinctively. With mindfulness, you pause, observe, and choose your response. The same applies to anger. Pause, recognize, and decide how to handle it. The pause is where transformation occurs. By practicing mindfulness, we create space between the trigger and our reaction, allowing us to see things clearly. Imagine you're stuck in traffic and a driver cuts you off. Your initial reaction might be anger, but mindfulness helps you notice the tightening in your chest, the tension in your hands, and the racing thoughts. By simply observing without judgment, you can acknowledge, I'm starting to feel angry. Instead of being swept away by anger, you have a choice. Let it control you or let it go. Self-awareness complements mindfulness by helping us understand why emotions arise. It's about looking inward to examine the root cause of anger, asking what triggered it and what underlying fear or belief is at play. For example, when someone cuts you off, the anger might not be about that incident, but rather a deeper feeling of being disrespected or overlooked. Understanding this connection helps reduce anger's hold. Mindfulness and self-awareness together provide tools to manage emotions. These practices not only help with anger, but increase awareness of all emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. Consistent practice reveals patterns in reactions, offering more control. You might wonder how to integrate mindfulness and self-awareness into daily life. The answer is practice. Like any skill, mindfulness requires time and patience. Start by setting aside a few minutes each day in a quiet space, focusing on your breath. As thoughts and emotions arise, notice them without judgment. Over time, you'll develop deeper awareness, recognizing when anger starts to arise. Practice mindfulness in everyday moments. When waiting in line, focus on your breath. In conversations, listen deeply without interrupting. When triggered, pause and ask, what's going on inside me? This awareness makes a difference. Mindfulness isn't just observing thoughts and emotions, it's about letting go. You'll notice emotions like anger tend to cling. Self-awareness helps let go by understanding anger's root causes. If you argue at work and feel angry, ask, why am I holding on to this? Perhaps it's about feeling disrespected. Understanding this allows you to release anger, acknowledging it's not helpful. Mindfulness and self-awareness transform your relationship with anger. Instead of being controlled, you take charge of your emotions, becoming more attuned to your inner world, which shifts your outer world. You react less, feel calmer, and approach life with more peace. In Buddhism, mindfulness and self-awareness are ways of living, being present in every moment without judgment or attachment. Through these practices, we learn to let go of anger and other emotions causing suffering, making space for love, compassion, and understanding. Remember, mindfulness and self-awareness are lifelong practices. There will be times when you forget to be mindful and anger takes over, but that's okay. What truly matters is your commitment to returning to the present moment, observing and learning. Each time you practice, you move closer to the peace you seek. These tools are not just about managing anger. They teach you to live with greater awareness, clarity, and inner freedom. With practice, you'll see that anger doesn't have to control you. You have the power to recognize, understand, and release it, freeing yourself from negative emotions and creating a life filled with peace and joy. Acceptance and detachment are key Buddhist practices. Anger can feel like a wildfire, quickly consuming your thoughts, but imagine stopping it before it spreads. Acceptance and detachment help you face situations that usually provoke anger with peace instead of rage. Acceptance isn't about tolerating bad behavior. It's about acknowledging the present moment without judgment. It's about recognizing reality and choosing peace over resistance. For instance, stuck in traffic, you can accept the situation without letting it disturb your peace. Acceptance helps let go of control, bringing calm. Detachment, closely related to acceptance, means understanding you're not defined by your emotions. Anger arises when we identify too closely with feelings. Detachment allows you to observe emotions without becoming entangled. It's like watching a movie. You see emotions but remain detached. Detachment helps you respond with calmness and clarity, not letting emotions control your actions. Buddhism teaches detachment from desires and expectations. Anger often stems from unmet expectations. Detachment helps release these, recognizing impermanence. Traffic jams will clear, arguments will pass. Nothing is permanent, not even anger. Mindfulness aids detachment by observing emotions without judgment. When anger arises, notice it as a passing cloud. You're the sky, the cloud will pass. This perspective frees you to respond with clarity. Start practicing acceptance and detachment in small situations. Notice when frustration arises and accept it without judgment. Observe emotions as if they belong to someone else. Over time, you'll react less. As you encounter situations that once sparked anger, you'll become more aware of your emotions and better equipped to choose your response. Acceptance and detachment won't eliminate your problems, but they'll empower you to face them with a calm and clear mind. They transform anger into an opportunity for growth and peace. Remember, the goal isn't to suppress anger or deny its existence. Anger is a natural emotion with its place, but accepting it without judgment and detaching from it grants you the power to choose your response. You're no longer a slave to anger. Instead, you can live with a peaceful heart, knowing you control your reactions. When anger arises, pause and ask yourself, can I accept this situation as it is? Can I release my attachment to how I think things should be? This practice brings a profound shift in handling life's challenges with grace and peace. This is the essence of acceptance and detachment on the Buddhist path, not avoiding or suppressing emotions, but understanding and releasing them. With practice, anger loses its grip, freeing you. Cultivating compassion is the antidote to anger. Anger is a natural emotion we all experience, but it doesn't define us. It's merely a response to external or internal triggers. The real challenge lies in how we respond to anger, how we manage it, and how we can transform it. One powerful tool to dissolve anger is compassion. But what does compassion have to do with anger? Compassion is more than kindness or sympathy. It's the ability to understand others' suffering and wish for their relief. It's about looking beyond your own hurt and frustrations, opening your heart to others' struggles. Practicing compassion shifts your focus from yourself and your anger to others' well-being. This perspective is incredibly powerful, freeing you from anger's grip. In Buddhism, compassion is one of the highest virtues. It starts with ourselves. To be truly compassionate towards others, we first need to be compassionate towards ourselves. How often do we allow ourselves to be angry, frustrated, or upset, yet fail to show ourselves the kindness we would show a friend? Making compassion a daily practice helps us stop clinging to anger, seeing it instead as a chance to practice understanding and kindness. A simple way to cultivate compassion is through loving kindness meditation. This involves sitting quietly, focusing on your breath, and silently repeating phrases like, "May I be happy," "May I be healthy," "May I be safe." These phrases bring warmth and love to yourself. Once you've cultivated this feeling within, extend it outward. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. Over time, you'll see that anger doesn't serve you. Compassion does. Compassion helps us see that everyone struggles in their own way. When someone cuts us off in traffic, anger may rise. But if we pause, we might realize that person could be rushing due to a personal crisis. Their actions, though irritating, aren't a personal attack. Cultivating compassion means recognizing that we don't know what others are going through. Instead of reacting with anger, we can respond with understanding or, at least, patience. It's often easier to be compassionate towards strangers, but what about when someone close to us causes anger? A family member, friend, or colleague? How do we find compassion in those moments? It begins with understanding that those around us aren't perfect. Just as we make mistakes, so do they. They have their own struggles, pains, and fears. Often, how someone acts or speaks reflects their internal struggles more than it concerns us. Consider a time when someone angered you. Why might they have acted that way? Were they stressed, tired, or dealing with their own fears and worries? When we try to understand another's pain or challenges, it becomes easier to respond with compassion rather than anger. Of course, it isn't always easy. When we're hurt, frustrated, or feel wronged, choosing compassion in the heat of the moment is difficult. But this is where practice comes in. Like any skill, compassion strengthens with time and effort. The more we practice, the easier it becomes to respond with understanding, patience, and kindness rather than anger. One of compassion's beautiful aspects is its healing power, not just for the recipient, but also for the practitioner. Practicing compassion creates a sense of peace within us. Anger that once filled our hearts begins to melt away, replaced by a deep sense of connection and understanding. Can we truly transform our anger into compassion, and what might our world look like if more of us embraced this practice? Releasing resentment is like lifting a heavy weight from our chests, freeing us from hostility. Buddhism teaches that we are all interconnected. When one suffers, we all feel it, and when one is happy, we share in that joy. By cultivating compassion, we help others and ourselves, finding inner peace and a calm, open heart, ready to embrace the world with kindness. Bringing compassion into daily life starts with small actions, like offering a kind word or listening without judgment. Forgiving someone isn't about them deserving it, but about giving ourselves peace. When anger arises, take a deep breath and choose compassion over anger, patience over frustration, and love over resentment. Though challenging, this practice loosens anger's hold, grounding you even during difficulties. Compassion dissolves anger and brings love, joy, and harmony. Next, we'll explore forgiveness, another path to peace. Remember, cultivating compassion isn't about perfection. It's choosing kindness and understanding every day, freeing you from anger's chains and leading to true peace. Forgiveness, though simple, can be difficult. We often hold grudges, thinking it punishes those who wronged us, but it only harms ourselves. In Buddhism, forgiveness is a gift to ourselves, releasing anger, bitterness, and pain. By forgiving, we free ourselves from anger's grip. Consider why we hold on to resentment. When wronged, we feel hurt and angry. These emotions are normal, but replaying them strengthens the pain, trapping us in negativity. Buddha taught that suffering comes from clinging to the past. Forgiveness releases this attachment, not by condoning wrongs, but by freeing us emotionally. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones of anger and hurt. Forgiveness removes these stones, lightening the load. Forgiveness is a process requiring patience and self-compassion. In Buddhism, it involves looking within and confronting pain, realizing anger and resentment don't serve us. Mindfulness helps in this process, allowing us to observe emotions without being controlled by them. Ask why you feel this way. Uncover the root of your pain and see emotions as temporary. Loving kindness meditation, or metta, is a helpful practice, expressing goodwill and compassion. Offering kindness to those who have hurt us may feel unusual at first, but it's a powerful way to break down the walls of bitterness surrounding our hearts. Begin with simple affirmations like, "May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be free from suffering." Once you've extended kindness to yourself, direct it towards others, even those you dislike. This practice isn't about excusing their actions. It's about freeing yourself from resentment's grip. Forgiveness involves letting go of the desire for justice or revenge. While we often think forgiveness lets the other person off the hook, Buddhism teaches that holding on to anger only prolongs our suffering. By forgiving, we regain control over our happiness. Recognizing that everyone makes mistakes and may act out of their own pain helps make forgiveness easier. It's about not carrying the emotional burden of others' actions. Forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciling. Sometimes it's about setting boundaries and finding peace within yourself. Studies show that holding on to anger can harm your health, while forgiveness brings healing and peace. Remember, forgiveness is an ongoing practice, not a one-time event. It transforms your life, freeing you from the past and opening up new possibilities. Choose forgiveness for your peace of mind, and with each act, you become stronger and more at peace. Meditation can help release anger, much like a storm that eventually passes. Through meditation, we sit with our feelings, understand them, and let them go. Buddhist teachings offer meditation techniques to release anger and cultivate a peaceful mind. Mindfulness meditation focuses on the present moment, breaking the cycle of negative thoughts that fuel anger. When anger arises, observe it without judgment and notice how it manifests in your body. Notice any tension in your shoulders and simply acknowledge it. Let's start by sitting comfortably. Keep your back straight but relaxed. Close your eyes gently and take a few deep breaths. Feel your chest rise as you inhale and your body relax as you exhale. Focus on your breath. It's your anchor to the present moment. Bring your awareness to your body and notice any areas of tension. Relax these areas one by one, breathing into spaces that feel tight. Allow your mind to be present with whatever arises. If anger surfaces, don't deny or push it away. Recognize it, acknowledging that it's a part of you but doesn't define you. Sit with it, observing how it changes. Emotions like anger often diminish when given space. With practice, you'll notice anger is like a wave that rises and falls. Let it come and go without holding on to it. Each meditation session where you observe anger without reacting creates space between you and the emotion, helping you let go. Loving kindness meditation is another effective technique. It involves sending positive thoughts to yourself and others. When angry, we tend to focus on what triggered us. Loving kindness redirects this focus to compassion. Sit comfortably, breathe deeply, and repeat, "May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be free from suffering." Feel warmth and compassion filling your heart. Extend this kindness to others, starting with someone you love, then someone neutral, and finally someone you're angry with. Remember, loving kindness isn't about excusing actions but wishing freedom from suffering. It softens anger and replaces resentment with understanding. It's about freeing yourself from anger's hold. Breathing into anger is another practice, using your breath to transform anger's energy. Breathe in peace, breathe out anger. Over time, this helps release anger before it builds. Meditation isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong commitment requiring patience. The more you practice, the more your relationship with anger changes. Meditation rewires your brain, making it easier to let go of anger. Non-attachment is key. Anger is just an emotion that comes and goes. When attached, we let it define us. Through meditation, we see anger as a passing cloud. You'll find space between triggers and reactions, allowing clarity and compassion instead of impulsivity. Meditation empowers you to let go of anger, creating a peaceful life. It cultivates equanimity, a calmness in the face of life's challenges. This is meditation's ultimate goal, to develop a steady mind, unshaken by whatever arises. Every time you sit in meditation, you take another step toward a life filled with peace, compassion, and freedom from anger. Through patience, practice, and commitment, you'll discover that you can master your mind and find true peace. As we conclude this journey, let's reflect on what we've learned about anger, its roots, and the practices that free us from its grip. Is it possible to live in peace despite life's challenges? Yes, it is. Anger is like a passing storm, and with practice, your mind can remain calm and clear. Buddhism teaches us that our minds can be like clear ponds, settling into clarity when we let go of anger. By practicing mindfulness and acknowledging anger without judgment, we cultivate compassion, understanding, and forgiveness. Life will still present challenges, but the goal is to respond with wisdom, not impulsivity. As you reflect on your progress, remember that true freedom comes from choosing how to respond, inviting peace into your life. This path is about progress, not perfection. Each step toward peace is a victory. Take a deep breath, feel the calm, and remember you control your response to the world. The power of the mind is limitless, and peace can be a reality in every moment. This lifelong journey will transform not just your anger, but every aspect of your life. Embrace each moment and be kind to yourself. Thank you for joining me on this path of wisdom and peace. These teachings are practices to live by, transforming not only yourself, but also the world around you. Peace is contagious, inspiring others through your calm. Remember, the journey doesn't end here. Keep practicing, learning, and growing. If you ever feel yourself slipping, return to your breath. Before we end, I have one final request. If you found this helpful, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue bringing you life-changing content. May you live with peace, love, and understanding. Until next time, keep walking the path of wisdom.